Hi, this is Abigail Reddick from the EDUC 6400 class, and I'm here today with Amanda Page, the LTDS here at Hermitage Elementary, who's going to share a little bit about her educational experience, background.
Hi, I'm Amanda Page. I am currently the LTDS at Hermitage Elementary School. I'm in my 5th year of literacy coaching. And prior to that, I was in the classroom. I've been in education for about 18 years. I've taught predominantly elementary school.
Great.
Is that enough?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So today we're going to be talking about read-alouds in the early years based on Chapter 3 of Schickedan's and Collins' book, So Much More Than ABCs, The Early Phases of Reading and Writing. So my first question is, Schickedan's and Collins list 4 main goals for read-alouds in the early years: building community, supporting understanding of other people, building knowledge about emotions and how to regulate them, and supporting language development. So, do you agree with these 4 goals?
I do agree with these 4 goals. These 4 goals are predominantly, the first 3 in particular, seem to be around SEL, which I think in those early years is very important to build a sense of community in the classroom to create a safe space for learning. Looking ahead to the next question about some other goals, I do think there are quite a few other goals for read-alouds in the classroom in the early years, particularly setting children down into content and actually using the interactive read-aloud as a model for what good readers do.
Okay, so kind of building on that, if you were asked to defend the value of read-alouds in young elementary classrooms, what are your main arguments?
So I would think that, a read-aloud is again very important for setting kids down into content knowledge, the theme of a unit, for example. I also think that children need to see a good model. They need to hear a fluent reader. Additionally, they need to know what is going on in the brain of a good reader. So during an interactive read-aloud, having teachers do some metacognition. I'm wondering, for example, about what might be coming next in the story, or defining some academic vocabulary that's going to carry meaning of the text for students. It's important for teachers to do that, and I think once that is set, it is really going to give learners something to tether to as they continue their learning throughout the text, throughout the unit.
Okay. What advice would you give teachers that struggle with choosing books to read aloud to the students?
So there are quite a few tools that teachers can use. Of course, Lexile level is a good measure for quantitative range of a text and its appropriateness for the grade level. There are also some qualitative structures that are really important. I shared with you a rubric that kind of helps determine some of those qualitative measures. I think it's really important to understand on the gradual release in a balanced literacy framework, we have to afford children multiple opportunities with text over the day, throughout the course of the framework or over the course of the day. And one of those ways is that they are exposed to complex text, which happens during the interactive read aloud. These are generally 1 to 2 grade levels above their reading. So we're always pushing their content knowledge, their academic vocabulary forward. We also want to afford them throughout the day some opportunities for grade level reading and also independent reading. But in the interactive read aloud time, we really want to give them that complex text. So we're always pushing them to the next level of learning.
What about for teachers that struggle with making the interactive read aloud engaging for students?
Well, I always say that that teaching is Academy Award-winning performances, all of the time. We as teachers have to be engaged in the learning if we are going to, in turn, engage our students. So I always encourage teachers to find texts that they love. Go to McKay's with a Starbucks and on a Saturday morning and sit and find 10 texts that you love, that speak to you in some way. We can always use these multiple texts to teach multiple standards and multiple concepts, but find texts that speak to you as a teacher, that you feel engaged in and with, and that'll transfer to your kids, hopefully.
Wonderful. Well, thank you.
Thank you. It was good to talk to you, Abigail.